believe when you hear. Also for that, we are not going to her.
You've seen these parents attacking us for coming to disrupt what they deem spiritual exercise led by this man who claims to be a man of God, who's branded the children here, mostly the girls, as witches. He has convinced their parents that their children are witches, have killed a number of people, and so they are in agreement with this man of God. Right behind me are some of these children who have refused to be in school. In fact, they've been convinced by their parents not to speak to us. And some of these girls have been forced to confess that they are witches. You brought me up here to see what is going on regarding what the pastor is doing. It seems that you're very worried about what is going on.
Yes, I am worried because the past 10 years I've been to this village. I have seen the progress in terms of the school that I set up. And fortunately, 4 years ago, government has taken it over. Though there are challenges, we are still, prodding on nicely. Until a month ago, I got wind of a young pastor who is in the village accusing most of the young girls, not the boys, of being witches, killing people, and the peaceful community has been divided into factions of witches, wizards. The older men who are widowed are the wizards, and then the young girls are the supposed witches. And due to that, the parents have believed it, and it's affecting the girls in school. And naturally, it will affect the school because most of the girls in the school are more than the boys. So if we continue like this, I don't know how it is going to end up. And how can a pastor bring children to on top of a hill, away from the village, young girls in a bush, to exercise them? This is Nana Oyelita to answer.
I have the chief of this community who is equally worried about this situation. Hello, sir. What's your name?
My name is Menejasichela Tejabate the third.
How many people do you have in this community?
Oh, I have about 500 and something, almost 600. He said they are wish. So I came and I called him in my house. So when he came, I asked him. He couldn't tell me the truth. So I sacked him away.
If you say he couldn't tell you the truth, what exactly did he tell you?
He told me that he is not the one who is telling them that they are a wish, but they themselves. I told him that it's not true, because the time you were not here, nobody says she's a wish.
You are the chief of this area. This has been going on for about a month now. What have you done about it, knowing that it is affecting the education of the children in this community?
I will call the two that are under me, and I will meet with them.
The pastor claims that she's the witch. She should say it. And she refused to say it.
So the pastor said you should say you're a witch, and you refused to say it, and that was why he beat you?
Yes, and that's the reason why.
So, do you believe you're a witch?
Oh. He said it's not true.
It's not true that you're a witch?
Yes.
This 14-year-old we are talking to was allegedly beaten by the pastor. You can see on her face there are marks of the beatings on her face, at the back of her neck, as well as her back. We've moved to the community. We have one of the men here who is actually accusing one of the girls of killing his wife.
My name is Atani Emmanuel, Agbete, and the small girl. He have the Holy Spirit. He say, that is why he killed my wife and concerned my uncle, Mr. Nate, and my senior brother wife, Lizzie. That was supposed to be the chance. He take his father. He say, your children have to talk the right. They get to the first person. They are make the kid. that they are going and they make the cane. They say if they talk, another person they mouth they talk. That the time he make the cane to care.
You are claiming that she killed your wife.
The devils that talk. The devils that talk.
So not the girl.
That is the devils.
And the girl is the devil.
It's a devil. My wife born baby. My wife born baby. 8 months now. My wife they die. I will try.
Died. Second died. Are you know the one who's caused some sickness? That is.
This church, who doesn't have a name, is built with bamboo sticks and roofed with palm leaves. And this is where this 14-year-old girl was beaten to pulse because she refused to confess that she was a witch. Beatrice Edu, Joy News.
Well, so you saw that, and not only across the country, across the world, you get to see some of these things happening. Ultimately, by the time the law enforcement agencies or even the authorities of the state tend to move in, a lot more harm than good has been done. Are these people in the right frame of mind, so to speak? But really, where do we tend to situate this within the context of the law, and what oversight responsibility do we need to have the best institutions that we have responsible for these having over some of these people or institutions that are really scattered around across the country? We have in the studio the Deputy Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, John Alexander Akon, here, and thanks for joining me, John.
Thank you too.
What do you make of what you just saw?
At times, on a personal level, you see the level of sadness. If you are very emotional, you tend out to think that, come on, whose children are this? And you want to think that, would you subject your own children to this type of situation? And that's just the level at which you should see the context of social protection. I guess when the president reclassing the ministry to gender, children, and social protection, others did not really see what was happening. These are the issues that it's supposed to cover. But it's a bigger picture of what's happening in this country, because indeed, even for the older ages who can make their own decision beyond 18 years, some are subjected to similar things. I remember just this week or last week, the General Secretary of the Christian Council of Ghana had issues to do with the current issue of stickers, where people now use stickers in their phone, on their body, everywhere of their body, and say that the stickers save me and things like that. And he's talking strongly about the application of doctrine in all situations. So that's a larger picture. And I'm sure you're also aware where adults subject themselves to bathing by the seaside to exorcise them from various witchcraft and other issues. But the point here is that these are children, and the law protects them. And the law says generally that the best interest of the child is supreme.
We do understand that's what the law states, but you are the oversight ministry. Have you identified some of these institutions scattered across the country, and what have you been doing over the last formative years of the ministry?
Well, you see, what we have done rather is that we've done two things. The first one is that the Children's Act is being amended by the policy which was recently launched by the Vice President, and it's called Child and Family Welfare Policy. Now, we're going back to the basics. Instead of leaving the law to be Children's Act, now we are saying that Child and Family Welfare, and giving more authority to the chieftains institution, the traditional rulers, giving authority to the traditional and community leaders so that they can go into all such issues before it gets to that level. So we want to do the preventive side of it. The Children's Act is always a reactive. It comes, people get subjected and the police move in. So we want to preempt that situation. Therefore, first one is changing it to Child and Family Welfare, which has been launched. We'll do the implementation process very soon. The other side we've done is that per the social protection policy, which is very well advanced, we are forming the National Social Protection Committee, the Regional Social Protection Committee, the District Social Protection Committee, and the Community Social Protection Committee, which will take all such social issues into the focus by the District Assembly. So they will be in charge. So very soon, we'll start rolling out all these committees. So they will arrest this one well before it gets to this particular situation. But there are bigger things in the front of the religious bodies. They will need to come together and act very strongly. Unfortunately, the front is also so scattered. Bishops' Conference, Christian Christian Council, Pentecostal is also different, Charismatic, another one. Others have various names, and they don't seem to even peer check themselves. If you do, they say freedom of association. But for the children, we have every right to protect them.
Now, this is coming in the wake of international news report, let's say in Kenya or in the southern part of the continent, where we have bishops or self-styled prophets, etc., making people taking, is it gas oil, thinking that it is pineapple juice, or even people swallowing snakes and making them think it is sausage, grass, and things like that. Religion is a very sensitive issue, and especially in Africa and our part of the world and in our country, it's something that traditionally, when it comes with our customs and beliefs, we feel that we don't need to go into. How do you, as a ministry, hope to deal with that?
Raymond, there are interesting things we need to observe, and it's the reality. I mean, until very recently, you will not see a Malam advertising. Neither were you going to see a fetish priest advertising. But these days, they are on TV all over the place, charming manners and all that all over the place. So what has really changed? Is it democracy or what? Are we becoming champions of the law to the extent that we are getting these setbacks? So there are big issues social that is happening. But the point is that at a point, the law becomes difficult to implement. It says freedom of association. I've decided to join Raymond Association, which is a spiritual association, freedom of worship. If I subject myself as a grown up to it, who can control my situation? Very difficult situation to contest now. But I'm saying that within that two positions, the children need to put up for that one. There shouldn't be any compromise. This one can constitute a trafficking issue, which also comes under us. This one can constitute a domestic violence issue, which also comes under us. So I'm saying that when it comes to view, we get the police involved very strongly to get the children protected in the first instance. Then we look at the secondary issues. But children should not be subjected to this particular situation. They cannot make their own decisions, and therefore you cannot subject them to that situation. And that's why we think that we should get a preventive action, and that's why we've gone through the child and family welfare policy, and we're going to empower through our normal traditional values the chiefs, traditional authorities, the community leaders to take care of those situations and come to support us in that regard.
I'm sure the pictures will come again, and my director will do that. But you see that the children have marks, they've been beaten, they've been molested. I mean, I don't have to come to that very conclusion. People can just come to those conclusions as well. But it's also because somebody who may be fanatical and obsessed with a certain belief, we don't know whether that person is in the right frame of mind or not. At the end of the day, is molesting women and children, and they have been brainwashed to think that what they are doing is in the right stead.
This one is
how does your ministry deal with, let's say, such emergencies? Because this is an emergency. So
well, until now,
do you report to DOFSU?
Straight away, the first thing we do under such circumstances is get the police involved, because it's a criminality. This one is a straight case of assault. So normally we tell people, anything that you get confronted with, if you have domestic violence, let the police know. So what we do is normally we inform DOFSU, who will do the immediate arrest. This one is an assault, and the police have the law behind them to make sure it's arrested. So that there's no complaint, but that is come, they can move in and do the arrest. And then we'll look at other things. What we do in our stead is what is called the social inquiry report. We'll get the social welfare people to call in. Instead of just solving, the law will do one side, and the inquiry report will come with the causatives. What may have resulted in this particular situation, so that we get it at the root level. Is it indoctrination? Is it the family people who are knowledgeable? Is it poverty? Then we'll try to address that particular one. But initial one is that the interests of the children are supreme. We'll get them off the place, give them immediate shelter, solve that situation, and start to go into it. The police also do their job. So it takes about 3 stages.
All right. So we're hoping that at least you do something about this and some.
Yeah, it's just come to our notice. So we'll get whoever is in charge. I will get the place when I finish to get the officer there to act immediately.
Anybody who lives in a community has noticed this. It's not the media you have to come to. You have to go to DOFSU. Is that what you're saying?
Straight away, police.
Okay.
The first point of action, it should be the police. They will move in immediately and effect the arrest and then stall the process. And then other things can then follow, so that we'll save the children immediately.